It's like the Sizzler of barbecue spots.
Lucille's is the sizzler of barbecue spots. Yeah. And what I hate about it is it's like what they've done with it, where they're like, "Oh, we're so cool. We don't need advertising. We don't need to do like anything. You just know that we're cool because we're the new."
Well, because we don't have. Well, it's because they don't have any competition. There's not a lot of like fast chain barbecue spots, you know.
I wouldn't call Lucille's a fast chain barbecue spot because it's like a 2-hour wait sometimes. You know,
but it's a chain restaurant. It's a chain restaurant. Fast chain. It's a chain restaurant. Fucking tomato.
Potato. And welcome into an all-new Drinks to Words by, ladies and gentlemen, as we are coming to you from the virtual bar that you can watch right here on our YouTube channel. Our YouTube channel, ever since our last episode 150, which you can hear on drinkswordsby.com and see on drinkswordsby.com, gaining a lot of views, 15 views so far in 5 days.
Woo!
You know,
that's not bad.
That's 3 views a day. For 3 views a day, you two could watch us drink.
Yeah, you two can help some poor child. Us, we're the poor children.
Yes, exactly. And right now it is...
Where's Sally's Strollers when you need her?
Yeah. Right now we are in rain season here in Los Angeles, going through Stormwatch 2023. As we
I always love that Stormwatch shit. Like, it's like the most dramatic thing. Like, okay, it's a little cold. I get it.
I know. And I'm like, well, I guess I'm not driving. I have a rule that goes, if it's raining, I am just not going to drive. I think that's a good rule. And it looks like I'm not even leaving my house this entire weekend.
Yeah. I'm going to try not to. I'm really going to try not to. I mean, there's really no need to, with all the conveniences of ordering food and everything. But with that said, I will be making dinner like every day. So
yes, you will make dinner every day unless I come and visit. Then I get a sandwich,
and you get leftovers, bitch.
Yeah, a little insight from
you got Christini's.
Yeah, a little. Me and David talked about episode 150 and, me going over there and, I'm like, oh, you're going to cook, David? Sure. He promised me the whole kit and caboodle. They show up, we're like, we have a sandwich. I'm like, that you made? That we bought. I'm just like, all right. I mean, don't get me wrong, it was a good sandwich. You know what I mean?
Well, the thing was, like, the plan was to, like, make a dinner, but with the circumstances as they played out, it was very difficult to plan a dinner when, things were happening that we were.
Yeah.
But
I
owe you dinner.
Yes, you do. I had to give you shit. You're a good cook, and I've said this from time to time, David, that you need to become a chef. I think you missed your calling.
I think I missed many callings, apparently. Because if it wasn't chef, it was bartender. If it wasn't bartender, it was, like, private security. I don't know. There's a lot of things that I can or cannot do. I enjoy cooking. I cooked yesterday. I don't know if you saw my post.
I did, and from what I vaguely remember about our last show, or the after party, is I believe I saw this steak. You unfurled it in front of me.
Yeah.
So
yes.
I'm like I think I remember that steak from my drunken my drunkenness. I was tired.
Yeah. Yeah, we were all just a long day, because soon after the show, it was Three Amigos time, so,
Oh, yeah.
Lose all track of time when you're watching the Three Amigos.
Yeah, it was definitely time to I loved it. I loved it. But before we get into all of that, it is Drinks to Words by, and what are you drinking?
Whiskey and Coke, the old go-to. It's what I have here. I'm not drinking. Well, I have drank a little bit of your gin. So, but trust me, there's plenty more.
I know when I was leaving, your wife was very generous and kind to say, "Take the gin." I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "What happens when I come back?" You know what I mean? I'm like, "I'll just leave it here for when I come back." You know, so it was like.
Gotta remember to keep Sprite on hand.
Yeah. We'll get into that in 1 second, but it's so weird because of the weather and stuff. It's like so cold, and I didn't want to put ice or anything in. I'm like, what should I drink? So I brought out El Scotcho.
Ooh.
So I'm just doing
the old go-to, the El Scotcho.
El Scotcho neat. And
wow. You really aren't going anywhere today.
I'm not. I poured this. Look at how much I poured. And I was just like, oh no.
Oh no.
Do you guys get like that where you over pour yourself and you're like, well, there goes the day and it's barely noon. You know?
Yeah. Well, that was see, the thing is, like, you know, when you watch sports, you want to have a drink, right? And the sad part is, like, right now, since I'm not, you know, I don't have any jobs coming up, I'm at home. And there's soccer in the middle of the day. So I'm at home watching sports going, I got to have a drink while I'm watching sports. So, yeah. I don't over-pour myself because I still got to function later. But, yeah. It's like, okay, what chores can I get done before the game? What chores can I still get done after the game?
And what football game is going on right now?
Oh, it's soccer. Tuesday and Wednesday were Champions League games, where Real Madrid spanked Liverpool, and then yesterday was the Europa League, where Manchester United beat Barcelona.
Oh wow! Europa.
So, a lot of good games.
Yeah, definitely. Are we just in sports now? Did we just fast track?
Here we go. We're just talking about the day.
Yeah.
Talking about the day. There's not much more sports after that anyway.
Yeah.
Baseball started.
You know what's funny though was, like, you know, because it's like a rainy day and, you know, I wake up in the morning. So if you've been following the show at all, you know that I used to be a huge champion of KTLA Channel 5. It's a local news station here in Los Angeles. And then they let go of...
for all our international fans.
Yes, David, I've seen the, the analytics. We have 2 or 3. Unless they're robots, you know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't care.
Yeah, I don't care.
Somebody's viewing.
Yeah. But just in case. David, and I'm thinking of the future, okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because, like, it's real quick sidebar, which we're going to have a billion of them if you know the show. Like, I'll look at our channel and then I'll look at my channel, which, you know, if you don't know, I do host a music show, What the Music, on entertheshell.com. If you'd be so inclined to check it out. And if not, it's cool. You know, if you just want to watch this, that's cool. You know, I'm not trying to, bang or plead for listeners, but the more the merrier. But anyway, and I've been doing this for a long time. And as I go back, I told myself when I first started all this, I was like, you know what? The views right now don't matter. It's the views in the future that matter. And now that I'm looking back and I'm going over, I'm looking at all these views. I have some views that are like 12,000 views from older shows of my last, on Enter the Shell and on that channel. And so that's what always gets me to, like, say stuff like this, where it's like, well, I know the people watching now are in the now, but I'm thinking about the people later on in the future that are going to stumble on the program and stuff like that.
Did you just pull the Spaceballs?
Yes.
What's happening now? What's happening now? Exactly. So when is that now?
Very much so, David Macias. Very much so. So that's why sometimes I get into those weird tirades of, trying to over-explain everything. But I stopped watching the news in the morning because of this. I've boycotted, and I'm a staunch boycotter. If I don't like something, I'm like, that's it, it's over. So in the morning, I have nothing to watch. I don't know what to watch. So I've been stumbling upon some old shows, some old interviews of of Howard Stern. I'll watch an old interview of his, or I don't know. Like I've just been trying to figure out what to watch in the mornings on the weekend because I'm just so used to watching that news station. So I'm like, I gotta find something else. So I did find Pluto TV, and on right there they have the NFL channel. And right now they're playing, during the off season they're playing old games.
NFL games?
Yeah, okay. So and they're not. Of course, they're not going to play the crappy ones. They're like, oh, watch this trouncing. You know what I mean? Watch this game that doesn't matter, that like nobody gives a shit about. That nothing exciting happened. So
two like fucking 4-7 teams. Yeah, let's watch this game.
But while I was getting ready for this, I was watching the Patriots and the Raiders play this season, and watching Mac Jones and Derek Carr and just them talking about their seasons. And it was like mid-season, so I was just like, there was still so much hope for everyone, But it was a cool game. So I've been stumbling upon watching old games. And do you do that? Do you like to watch old games? Do they even do that? I'm not even sure if they even do that.
I can't say that I have. I mean, sometimes I'll watch old clips of games. I won't sit there and watch like a whole game. Although there was, as you mentioned it comes to mind, there was a game, I think it was 1988 playoff game between the Buffalo Bills and the Cleveland Browns. And I knew the outcome, but it was still like, dude, I remember this game. Like, I was 8 or 9 years old, and I remember this game. I remember Don Beebe landed on his head, and he fumbled the ball, and we got the recovery, but they called it no catch or no fumble. Like, but his head, like, literally, he fell straight on his head, and then as soon as his head hits, the ball just goes, ping. It was crazy. But that is like one of the few times that, like I said, I've watched a whole game. But other than that, like, I'll watch clips of games, every so often, some old classics. But I can only watch the teams, my team winning. Can't watch my team losing.
I can rewatch old games. Whether it doesn't matter if it's baseball, football, or even golf. I've become such a golf watching guy, which I never thought I'd ever be. But I'm just like, well, it's something. And golf to me is always the most fascinating sport because it's just a guy like looking down the grass. It's a very old man sport, to say the least, because he's just like looking at grass, and we're all looking at grass like, yeah, you hit that ball far. Yeah. we're all agreeing. Yeah, he hits that ball far. And,
it's like watching fishing to me. Like, I'm not a fisher, so like the excitement that these guys get. Well, that's definitely an 8-pounder. It's like a goat.
Would be funny is if they combined fishing with cooking. So, like, the person that caught that would give it to a celebrity chef or just a chef, and then they'd cook it after or something like that. You know what I mean? They'd be like this was an 8-pounder, and the chef would be like, no, that was a 7.3, pounder to be exact. So
we're gonna fricassee this, yeah.
I think that's what's missing for me. Cooking is missing in everything. That's always my answer to everything. We'll add cooking to it, as a side thing or whatever.
I'm like, not everything, some things. But I'm very big on cooking competitions. Like, I'm very big on cooking. Like, I force Annabelle to watch them with me, because it's like, when it's on, it's like, all right, look, what would you do? And we start just going back and forth about what we would do. And like, oh, they should have done this. I totally would have been a puree. And it's funny because I almost did that yesterday. I almost just fucking blended some shit and see what it would come out as a puree. So, when you remember, when you're like, oh, I have these ingredients, I'll make this, but then you realize your ingredients went bad. Oh. You're like, fuck, now what? So I had this big ass steak, Uh, and I made, we had like those pre-made Caesar salads, so I made the Caesar salad on the side. But then it turns out my mushrooms and spinach had gone bad, and I was pissed off. What do I have left? Okay, I got carrots. What do I have? I have shallots. Okay, let me saute some shallots. I got a can of green beans, so I mixed green beans, carrots, and shallots, and just kind of sauteed them all together. Came out really good after I seasoned it and stuff. But even Adam was like, let's puree it. I was like, carrot and green bean puree. That's not like,
I don't know.
yeah. But it was good. It went along with steak, which came out magnifique.
Yeah, it looked really good. I think the next step in social media is the smell-o-vision, where you could like watch the post and then smell it. Only on food, not on people. You know, like we got to put a moratorium on that guy for a quick minute.
Well, I don't know. I mean, honestly, like if you start doing the smell thing, these freaks who like feet and shit, you start like, oh man, there's big money in this.
You charge extra for it, you know.
Yeah.
You know, it's weird. Speaking of smelling, I don't know if I talked about, I don't know what we talked about on 150, but my shower, the boiler went out in my complex.
You mentioned that, yeah.
And it turned out that it took 4 days for the shower to get back to hot, to get the boiler nice and cooking. So I essentially went 4 days without showering, and
there's other methods, man. Did you not grow up poor?
I did. Don't get me. Oh, you know what I did? I have a bathtub, and I'm like, I could finally use this bathtub. So what I did was I got a bunch of boiling water, threw it in, and I was filling it, but it just was taking so long that the water was getting cold. So I'm like, damn it. So I just kind of bird bathed myself, and I felt like a bird, essentially, in the bathtub as I was bird bathing myself everywhere, and I did like that.
Classic. You have to have 3 to 4 pots of water. You take them in there. You do one is the initial rinse, then the other one's the lather, the other one's the final rinse. It's not gonna be the greatest fucking, clean, but at least it's clean.
Yeah. So, finally, I was at work, and at work we have showers and stuff, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to take a shower at work. And why hasn't men's showers evolved, at the gym? Like they're always into like private stalls. Because this one was all open air, and I hate open air showers where it's like, we're all showering together. I'm like, no, we are not. This is 2023, like we all
you were in the military. You had to do it.
I know. And I'm like, why do they keep on with this tradition? It's just stupid, So there I am, just I picked the farthest shower, away from everybody. In the corner. Just turned on the water. Did I don't even know. I mean, don't get me wrong. The hot water felt great. But I couldn't stand there and enjoy it as I was too busy. I was lathering myself up. Whatever parts I missed. It was just like, hey, this is just a free for all right now. Just get in the water. Pretend like I showered, then jump out. At least I could say at least I showered.
Yeah.
So the things you do just to be clean. But now my shower's back and up and running. And if anything, the water is even hotter. I'm just like, whoa. I was like, this is really hot water. So this is what it's like. It's really nice.
Well, I'm glad that you're able to shower.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think maybe not everybody, but most of us have been in that position where the water heater's out or the bill's not paid or right? I got one utility's out, the other one's still working. We're gonna make this one.
I've been watching some movies, so I thought I'd give some movie reviews.
Ooh, oh yes, you recently saw a new viewing, correct?
Yeah. I just saw Cocaine Bear, and I can release my review today. As
can you? All right, okay.
Yeah, because if you ever are part of the press, such as myself. I produce a film critics podcast, so he's always inviting me to stuff. He's like, hey, let's go. And I'm like, yeah, of course. I'm like, a free movie with free popcorn and free soda. I'm there, and it's a movie that I want to see, so it's like, it's no brainer.
And I don't have to put out,
right? Well, I do have to put out content, but I mean, that's the, I'm
huge difference, buddy. Huge difference.
Yeah. So I went there, and dude, they really rolled out the red carpet for us because I'm used to the free popcorn and the free soda. Which, by the way, I'm starting to get addicted to popcorn because now that I'm going to these movies, and I'm always getting free popcorn. I'm like, man, popcorn's pretty good. I was never a real big popcorn guy, but now I'm like, oh man,
you're gonna start bringing your own seasonings.
My buddy Leo, he brings his own seasoning. He's like, Himalayan salt? And I'm like, what? Who are you?
See? You're like, some roasted garlic today? I don't know. Some tahini? Maybe.
I mean, Tapatio, man. I'm going to start bringing my own Tapatio because after the butter, because you can only get so much butter in that popcorn in that bag, and you're gonna it's gonna hit a dry area. And what I've learned when I used to live in West Covina, California, and used to go to the movie theater out there, they used to have tons of Tapatio packets right there, and I used to take them and then put it in my popcorn. It was delicious. But here in Los Angeles, they don't have Tapatio packets. I'm like, what are you guys, animals? Like, you think butter is just the end all be all? I'm like, what about the Tapatio? I'm really pissed.
I hate it when they didn't give you the option to butter the popcorn yourself, and they only pour the butter on top. It's like, hey, you got to do popcorn, butter, popcorn, butter, popcorn, butter.
Yeah.
I need layers to this shit.
Yeah, I think they're really missing out on that, on layering the butter. Or at least, like, if they had, like, those little butter cubes and, like, put a little bit in, throw a butter cube in. Throw a little bit in, throw another barbecue, cube in or something. The movie theaters need to step up their popcorn butter game, in my personal opinion. But, I digress from the review of Cocaine Bear, which was something that, I was watching the trailer for this, or on the TV, the commercials. I was like, man, what a crazy premise, and I'm like, based on a true story. I'm like, what? So I went and I did a little research on not the film, but the actual events.
Incidents that happened, yeah.
That happened, and the events that led up to just the bear getting the cocaine and the guy that was smuggling it is crazy. I'm like, they need to do a prequel just on that because it's pretty crazy. And then the events that happen not during when the bear goes on his tirade, but afterwards what happens to the bear. I'm like, there's a sequel. I was like, wow, this is insane. So
Cocaine Bear 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah. But I will say this about the movie, and this is, I believe, the only downside of the movie. The movie was, first of all, it seems like a little lighthearted. It's not. It is fucking horrific. You gotta make sure this bear has cocaine. If it doesn't have cocaine, you're fucking dead. It's gonna eat you. It's gonna fucking maul the fuck out of you. All right? It was, and they're showing these maulings. it is not fun. I mean, it's fun, yeah, but I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, I'm the only, like, the whole theater is screaming, give the bear cocaine. I never thought in my life that I would be saying, give the bear, just give him more cocaine. You know what I mean? It was insane.
I have to watch this movie.
Yeah,
That's the idea of a cocaine bear.
Yeah, and they pull no punches either. Like there's one scene where he actually does a line, of cocaine, and you're just like, like all the stupid things that would happen with cocaine. Not that let me preface, I've never done cocaine, but my friends and I'm not going to name names, but I've been around it. And it's just never.
I as well. I've never done cocaine.
Yeah, there's. I don't know if I told you about this one. My funny cocaine story. I don't know if I ever told you this or not, but I forgot what bar it was. It wasn't at the Cove.
Does everybody have a cocaine story, even though you've never done cocaine?
I believe so. And if you have a cocaine story, email us drinkstowardsby@gmail.com or just slide in the DM. And,
we promise not to put your name out there, but we would love to hear your cocaine story.
Totally anonymous. But I was at this bar in Covina, and I used to frequent it because I used to have a good karaoke night, and that was the only place that I felt comfortable doing karaoke for some odd reason. And one night I went to the restroom, and like 5 or 6 guys came in right behind me. And I thought, that's it. I'm either going to get trained or a jump. I'm like, and I was like, this is how Albert dies. This is how I go in a fucking bathroom. I didn't even get to do my karaoke set. You know what I mean? But this
like
is.
You go, he's like, hey guys, can I sing first? Let me just get a song in before you kill me.
Yeah. I was like, oh my God, the press is gonna have a field day on this one.
Yeah.
And so they form a circle around me, and I'm like, oh shit, And then they just then they all go, do you want to do a bump with us? I'm like, what? And for some reason, I was like, thank God it's just cocaine. Thank God they're just in here just to do cocaine. They go, no, I came the fuck out. Walk straight out. Like, oh my God.
The cocaine in bars, like how do people never like get smart? You have so many other places, like, and so many ways of doing it by yourselves. Don't do this. Don't go in a group. It's just red flags everywhere.
Yeah. So, but anyway, but give the bear cocaine, and but again, my one discrepancy about this film is how romanticizing it is that they make cocaine. The unromanticizing thing is just the bear attacking, but. Them kind of romanticizing it, and, I don't know. That was my one thing that I was just like, fuck. Like if a kid watches this, they're going to want to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because everybody.
Like a bear.
Yeah. And I'm like, and people are going to be like, hey, let's go to a zoo and give the bear cocaine. You know what I mean? Like, I see nothing but bad.
Happen.
Yeah.
This is definitely going to happen. They're going to start giving animals cocaine just to see what the fuck happens. There's going to be an outbreak of animals on cocaine.
Yeah. and I know we're like laughing and like having a good time about it, but I mean that's not a good thing, guys. As a society, we need to not do stupid stuff like that. But other than that, it was a good film. Me and Leo, who, I do the podcast with, which, it's Film Freak is the name of the podcast, the Film Freak Show. Go ahead and look it up, if you guys are so inclined, and check it out. And they're really short. Like he believes in the micro podcast, which is like a 6-minute to 11-minute podcast, and that's it. He's like, "Yep, that's the show," and that's
that is nothing like we do.
Exactly. I'm like, this is a fun, like our sessions are. We'll do 3 shows in like 15 minutes, and then he's like, "All right, bye." And I'm like, "All right, all right, that's easy. Sure, you got it. No problem." But go check it out. But he gave it a 6
out of 10.
Out of 10, and I gave it an 8 out of 10. So, if you give it the average, it's probably like a 7 in reality.
See, you know what? I used to critique movies a hell of a lot more. I've just I've gotten to that point, maybe my age, where I'm just like, am I entertained? Yes. Am I looking for an Oscar? Like, I'm like, this is the greatest movie of all time anymore? No. I don't. Those movies are always like slow and drawn out, and I don't have the patience for that. Like I can't watch The Northman, right? But I want to watch Cocaine Bear.
Yeah.
I need stimulation in my life.
It's a fun time, and the theater, when the bear does cocaine, in any moment the theater's just there's applauding, there's hooping and hollering. The people love.
You know what's going to be, right? They're going to have the drinking game, Cocaine Bear. Like anytime the bear does cocaine, you're in the theater just doing a bump yourself.
Jeez.
All right, I'm right there with you, bear.
No, this bear does a lot of cocaine, and it eats it, and oh my god. But this is not a spoiler of the movie or anything, but this actually, because it happened in real life, the bear dies. Obviously of an overdose and liver failure and a heart attack. I read the toxicology report on the bear, because when they found it, it had, I forgot how many pounds of cocaine in its stomach. And what ended up happening is they taxidermied the bear, and it's in a mall in Kentucky, and they put a hat on it. And then they have a gold chain with like a sign that's just like Cocaine Bear. It's really funny. I was like, fuck, they should have put that at the very end. You know what I mean?
In the movie, yeah.
Yeah, like, here's the actual bear. This is the actual bear. You know?
It's even cooler than the movie.
Way cooler. Yeah, so and in the movie is Ray Liotta's last, and let me say this correctly, his last film appearance. There are some other TV programs that he's coming out that are going to start airing later on this year, but this is his last film that he made. So I mean, not a bad way for a legacy. What was his last film? Cocaine Bear. Nice.
Nice, yeah. It's like, what's your favorite Ray Liotta movie? Goodfellas? No. Cocaine Bear.
and poor guy, I mean, don't get me wrong, he was always typecasted as, a mobster, and, he couldn't really escape it, but, he embraced it too. I mean, it was a payday, yeah. So, what can you do? Last movie I saw too was Ant-Man and the Wasp by Quantumanium. I know it's out now, and it's been out for a minute. One of my observations is, in every movie, I just don't want to be in the MCU universe anymore, because in every movie, we're going to fucking die. The entire planet is always in danger. And I'm just like...
Well, that's the whole point.
Yeah. But I'm like, every 3 months there's one of these new movies, and I'm like, is every 3 months the planet is going to, explode? The planet's going to be taken over? I'm like, yeah. The people living in this world, in this universe, why even go to work? It's like the world might blow up tomorrow. Like, there's no point,
Yeah. What's the government doing? I need some stimulus checks for this fucking superhero who's traumatized.
Yeah. I need to stay at home. But of course, that movie is primarily about Kang, the new bad guy that's going to be stepping in, and trying to tackle the entire Avengers. So it's more of kind of his story. So, I mean, there is Ant-Man and the Wasp in there, but it's mainly kind of his,
introduction.
Yeah, introduction. Even though if you've watched, some of the Disney Plus movies or TV shows and series, he's been introduced already, but this is kind of like his coming out party. So, it was okay. You know what I mean? It was a solid.
What's your ranking? Yeah,
I would say a 6, maybe 6.5. It's like, hey, if you're gonna watch it, great. It's gonna be cool.
It's kind of like if you go in knowing that it's part of a bigger story, then you get it, as opposed to like, am I watching this movie just for the entertainment of this movie?
Yeah.
So I get it. It's kind of like Star Wars now. Like you can't just watch Star Wars and go, oh, this movie sucked. They go, it's a lineage of fucking movies that you have to get through.
Yeah, exactly. So that's kind of my little movie wrap up. But while I was there, I ran into one of our past guests, Dimitri. He was there also at the screening.
No way.
Yeah, and I walked out and I ran into him. I'm like, oh my god, Dimitri. He's like, hey, how's it going? And I think when we had him on, I wasn't even moving. I wasn't even looking for a house. And then I was like, yeah, he's like, how you been? I'm like, oh, yeah, I moved. I live out near Inglewood, and he lives, like, kind of right by me and stuff. So that was kind of cool. I'm like, oh, we got to have you back on. He's like, yeah, sure. So that was fun. I checked out his reviews every now and then just to see, how his review style is different from my style, which is different from Leo's style. So all three of us have kind of very different review styles when it comes to whatever movie that we're both engaged in and watching. So if you want to check it out, I'm always willing to give him a plug. Go ahead and check him out. He's friends. We tagged him on the last clip that we played on Instagram. So go ahead and follow our Instagram at Drinks to Words By. And there you'll see him, and we tagged him, and give him a follow or give him a click, and go check him out there.
Have you seen the newest M. Night Shyamalan movie?
The Knock at the Door.
Yes, The Knock at the Cabin.
Yeah, the cabin door. The Knock at the cabin.
The cabin door.
Yeah. That's with Mr. Bautista, and
AKA Drax.
Yeah,
AKA Stuber.
Yeah, and I'll preface this by saying that I saw the Onion or the White Onion or the Knives Out. I saw the Knives Out because I believe you told me to watch it on the show. I forgot which. I don't even know if that was in private or whatever, but you told me to watch it, and I watched it. And he did a really good job. I'm enjoying him as an actor, not as Drax.
Yeah.
Even though that is acting, but I'm enjoying him kind of now coming on the forefront, being kind of more of a serious actor. And the thing is, M. Night Shyamalan, I'm always disappointed. Always. Like, the story is good.
No. Not everything is disappointing. You can't tell me Sixth Sense was disappointing.
No, you're right. That wasn't. But after you figured it out, after you figured out his twist, you're just like, oh, okay. What's the twist here? What's the twist there? So, yeah, I'm kind of over M. Night Shyamalan. And unless this twist can be super like someone says you have to watch it, then I'm like, okay. But usually I'm like, I'll just wait till it hits the streamings, and be disappointed there.
Yeah, it was okay. It wasn't. It was pretty direct. It was pretty fucking straight, to the point. There wasn't really a plot twist. It was more like a idea or play on emotions and religion type of thing. So it wasn't like, oh no, because it was just like, I've kind of know, it wasn't anything that you have to write home about. I would say maybe a 6 because I think that it got some point, but it wasn't anything that was like I said, like a plot twist. It was just like human emotion. Like I kind of preferred Old to Knock on the Cabin, but yeah, I'm with you on a lot of things in regards to his plot twists aren't plot twists anymore. It's like once you know it, it's like the movie kind of like just fades away. And it's been a very happy ending. I think if he had sad endings, like very Japanese type or Asian movies,
yeah,
they would be better. But you're expecting a happy ending, so you're like, that's why I always like the Asian movies. This is like everyone dies. There's no hero here.
Yeah,
they all die.
There's no happy ending.
There's no happy ending. This is real life. But yeah, that's I think like the newest movie that I've seen, and it was just me.
There's a lot these days. Like in order for you to go out to the movie theater, there needs to be something big that says, you know what, I have to watch it in the movie theater. Case in
John
point,
Wick 4.
Yeah, John Wick 4. But I will say this about Cocaine Bear: the roar in the theater. It's fantastic. That soundscape that they do, the audio design of the bear and the roar. It needs It needs Dolby Digital. It needs Lucas, audio. It needs all the bells and whistles because man, it is a terrifying roar and it's really amplified in a theater. I will say that too.
I got you.
But there's been nothing that screams I must go to the theater for this. I must brave parking. I must brave the rain, to watch this movie.
Yeah. Before we get off entertainment, I watched that episode you talked about, Last of Us, episode 3.
Yes.
I totally halfway through. I go. I see why you said this was like you'd watch this episode again. That was a really good fucking episode.
Yeah,
it really was. It was such a side story episode too. It was it kind of felt like a filler episode, but it was a very emotional, very shocking and awe, especially with the character,
yeah.
The guy that a lot of people just steak. Anytime I want steak.
Nick
what side do you want? Steak.
Yeah, it really gave such a dramatic range for the guy, and I was just like, wow, this is. I'm like, I watch it. I'm like, this is going to offer up so much more for him, and I could see why he did. And the other guy too. It was funny because the other guy's in White Lotus. And I don't know if you've seen White Lotus or not.
I haven't. No, I haven't.
I won't spoil it for you, but he couldn't be he was not the same character, but he was more. I've already said too much, but it was interesting. It was interesting. And for those of you that are not on the Last of Us game, it is a pretty good show, and I'm enjoying it. And it's funny because afterwards, they go into the why they did it or whatever. I don't know if you always watch that or not.
No, I haven't. I never. I know you're big on the extended clips and all that shit. You like the commentary that goes along with it. I didn't know. I haven't.
So I have never played Last of Us, but these two characters were actually in the video game, and so. But one only talks about the other in past tense, and we know that they were together, but that's it. So this kind of opened up the door of well, let's see what it would have been like, to see what they would have been like together. That's what the director and the writers and everybody said about it. And I was like, wow, that's really cool. So really, really cool. Show, and I think Pedro Pascal is missing out on a major money-making opportunity. He needs to launch his own, like, Pedro Pascal daycare center or something. Because
I knew you were going to say that.
him taking care of kids is like, catnip for all of us. We want him to take care of everybody. It's like what's his face, Liam Neeson, and
yeah, I was literally going to say it's like Babysitter's Club meets Taken.
Yeah, but it's like for Liam Neeson, it's like taking one. He's like, okay, ticket 2. He's like, who more can you take? We're taking 3.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's
just like I'm done with everybody getting taken.
Can nobody protect themselves?
Yeah.
He should just train his own family. There.
Yeah.
You guys have to take care of yourselves.
So
I mentioned John Wick earlier, and I'm like, I can't wait for number 4, but I kind of want it to be the last one. Like, I hate when movies start going too much. Like, I don't need 17 sequels. Fast and Furious. It just becomes unbelievable.
Like this new Fast and Furious, do you know episode 10? I'm like, episode 10 is really a 2-parter. So it's 10 and 11 are basically like the same thing that's going on. So it's 2 episodes that they split.
Oh,
it's 10, 11 are.
I didn't know that. I haven't watched a movie of the Fast and Furious since Tokyo Drift, and that was it. I was done after that. Yeah.
I don't know how I got roped into Fast and the Furious, but I've seen all of them. And it's always been by accident. I'm like, oh, Fast and Furious is on. Oh, let me watch it. And then I'm like, oh, here's 6. Oh, okay. You know what it is Jordana Brewster and Michelle Rodriguez. I keep coming back for them. They need my support. I'm always watching those ladies. So I'm like, yeah.
They need me as much as I need them.
Yeah. For me, that's what it is. And I keep on saying, what more can they do? And I've said this before. I'm like, remember when Fast and Furious was just about cars? Now they're in space. Now they're doing, that. Now they're superheroes. Essentially, that's what they've become. And,
yeah,
and it's ridiculous.
It really has. Yeah, it's gotten way too fucking overboard for me. A long time ago, I was like, yeah, this isn't like it's like Jason 10 goes to space. I don't need that shit in my life. Aren't they supposed to go either underwater or in space?
No, they have to go underwater because they've already done space. So it's like what
have
more?
They? I didn't know they went to space. I thought it was a joke.
Yes. They got some car and they made it go into space.
Like the only space movie I want is Machete in space. That's the one I need. I need Machete in space.
Yes. I could see it now. But it's so funny. I've never seen Jason in space, but I've always wanted to see it because I'm like, who is the commander? Who is the executive that greenlit? You know what? We're gonna take one of the most dangerous people on Earth, and we're gonna put him in a space shuttle with a bunch of crew and blast off into space. What could possibly go wrong?
What could possibly go wrong? With technology as it is today, I'm sure they could fight them off.
Just like when they rebooted, was it the Michael Myers? And they're like, oh, we have a brilliant idea. We're gonna move them on Halloween. We're gonna move them Halloween night. Like, that's the one day you do not move Michael Myers. You can move him any other day. But
Easter. His powers are probably the weakest on Easter, but you move him on the height of his power day. Gotcha.
What could possibly go wrong?
Yeah.
Come on, guys.
It's just like so bad. Like I like slasher movies but they don't make slasher movies like they used to anymore. Because it's like CG and stuff. It's like it's fake. Everything has to be some poltergeist, some ghost from some state that's been around since like the 1920s. So apparently, Ghosts are only come from the 1920s.
And they only speak English.
Anything from 1886 to 1925. That's the only time that ghosts and they stick around. They never have this ghost has been around since 1988. No. They know better. They stop trying to be ghosts.
And not only that, if ghosts are real, the dinosaurs were around for 165 million years? Right? You would think, brilliant idea. David, brilliant idea. Dinosaur ghost. Brilliant.
The dinosaur, it fucking possesses people and they start eating people like dinosaurs.
Yes.
It's just walking around.
You
know what's going to happen, right? This movie's going to take place in 4 years. It's going to be stolen from us. And we're good idea. There's actually one that happens right now. The Velociraptor priest.
Yes, I heard about this. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah. You must watch the preview. Watch the trailer for this. It is so bad. It is so bad. There's another one too. I think it's called Heidi something. It's one of those trauma / what are those called? Remember Planet Terror and Death Proof? What's that genre of movie called?
Oh, a B movie?
No, those are worse than B movies.
They were, but I mean, when those came out, they're these are our B movies that we're putting out, and that was the big draw. Dude, because it was Robert Rodriguez and all them.
Yeah.
It was just B movie.
But I don't know. But there was something else. There was another name for it. I just can't think of it off the top of my head. But it's kind of like that. It's so over the top and the way they explode is just blood. Very Evil Dead. Which that's a reboot coming up back again. Have you seen that one?
No. I didn't even know that they were doing that.
There's a new Evil Dead coming, but it's taking place in a fucking apartment building.
Okay, that's great. I wonder if they're paying HOA fees or what their rent is like.
The HOA, the scariest thing out there.
Oh man, it's insane. It's definitely insane. Sports.
We both what more? We talked golf. We talked soccer.
I just got to throw it out there.
Is that how we get away from sports section? Is just kind of flowing it through the entire conversation?
Maybe that's our new thing. I don't know.
Well, I mean, basketball is it's the last 23 games before they get to playoffs, right? So it's exciting. The Lakers made some trades. Are they gonna pull it off? They're gonna make it to the playoffs. Baseball spring training is gonna be starting soon, I believe, right?
Yeah.
That's your favorite time of the year.
I love it. Absolutely love it.
You're gonna start wearing blue all over again.
Yeah, right now I'm in transition, so I have a 35-day window where I'm not wearing Charger gear or Dodger gear. So usually I lend my headspace to the Kings. So I got a new Kings hat that I'm wearing, and I'm switching that on and off with the LAFC. Soccer for MLS begins Saturday, and I'm really glad that you brought this up. And that is MLS. Okay. They've been around for I think 18 years, maybe even 20.
It's been a while.
Right. And they're still trying to grow their fan base, still trying to grow as as a league. And one of the things that happened was Apple bought the rights to the entire league. So the only way you can watch any game is if you have Apple Plus TV or Apple Plus or their streaming platform.
Yeah.
And for a league that's still trying to grow, and last year they played a lot of MLS games, and I was able to watch tons of LAFC games, especially when they played the Galaxy. And that was really cool because I was like, "Oh, this is cool." I'm watching my team on TV, and I was already a fan, but just to watch them was, the cherry on top. Now, in order for me to watch them, I got to buy this this streaming service and buy the package just to watch them. And I'm like, "Oh man, you guys kind of messed up there." I can understand that for, maybe football or for baseball. I'm like, but when you're still kind of a young league and you're still trying to gain more fans, to do this, I don't know. I think it was a wrong move, and curious about.
Well, here's the thing about it. I get what you're saying in regards to the idea, like, hey, you've taken it away from some of your fans, but you have to understand, Apple Plus paid them a lot of fucking money to take that game, so they needed the money to expand the sport. They may not have the views as you might like, but it's actually helping them because they have more money because of it. Because at the end of the day, they might still even get a revenue off of the charges people are paying for that thing. But it's like ESPN Plus. Like, I watch Spanish League Soccer. I can watch every Spanish League Soccer game on ESPN Plus. Or I Love Champions, so I have Paramount Plus. So it's a lot of streaming services have done it so that they can bring in views. Because even like the Thursday night game, it's exclusively on Prime. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not all of football's on Prime, but if you want to watch the Thursday game, you got to watch it on Prime. I don't know. It's just revenue, man. They don't care about the fan as much as they need to keep the fucking business going.
I get it. I just think they're really kind of because I'm like, oh man, I'm like, geez, do I watch the Dodgers or do I watch LAFC? I'm like, I have more of a. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love the LAFC, and I own their gear and stuff like that. But and I watch them on TV when it's available. But I'm like, I'll pick the Dodgers any day. You know what I mean? Over that team. Maybe I'll get called out. Maybe people will be like, "You're not a real fan." I'm like, "Well, I am a fan, but when you're a fan of many teams in different leagues, you got to pick which one you want to watch." And
yeah.
So we'll see. And the big game is happening Saturday, and it's at the Rose Bowl, and you can't watch it. You can only watch it on Apple Plus, and it's like a sellout game. And it's El Tráfico Galaxy LAFC playing for the first time for the start of the season, opening day, if you will, for the season. So, it looks like it's going to be a killer game. And
they usually have like 7-day free trials, right?
Yeah, I'm just going to watch it for that day. Like, all right, trials, and just get all like the whatever that coach guy, the Ted Lasso out of the way. I'm like, okay, watch that. Watch the news or whatever it's called, and then be like, all right, try my 7 days. I'm good. We'll see.
Then you put in a new email.
No, because it's by your iPhone. Because I have an iPhone, so I'm screwed. They know. I'm like,
no, but you can get the Apple Plus without an iPhone.
Oh yeah,
because I had it myself for a bit because I wanted to watch Ted Lasso. I was like, oh, it's fucking 2 months free and $5.99 a month. I mean, a month after. I was like, sure. Then I realized that after Lasso, I was like, there's something that I really want to watch on the show. So on this channel. So.
Yeah, definitely. So so that's what's kind of going on in sports. The UFC's going on. You know what's kind of cool though is there's that rival UFC thing, that MMA, this other one that's on Prime. There's like supposed to be like a fight tonight or whatever. I forgot what the company is, like Champion One or something like that. That it's called. So I mean, yeah, there are some plus sides because like I'm like, well, I can't watch UFC, but I can watch some other type of MMA tonight. And that MMA, I love it. I love watching it. It's so fun. It's it's what I believe boxing should have become. So I'm enjoying it.
You're not a purist.
I'm not. And oddly enough, I'm such a purity guy, but for that, I'm just like, I like the MMA. It's Mortal Kombat in real life, so enjoying that. I've been enjoying the scotch. I've been like putting it down, like, oh, let me just sip a little bit more.
Yeah. I made another drink. So we need a cheers drink. So take one more. I'm wearing my nice warm Probo jacket.
Oh wow, you got a Probo jacket. What? Any other free swag?
Yeah, I got they gave me, because normally our swag is just our uniform. So right. I got a jacket, I got a hat, I got a polo, I got a long sleeve. I got better gear from the college football championship, but they didn't have my size. So I needed a 2X, I only had an XL. But so come away with some stuff. Like I said, I'm hoping to work the draft, so we'll see. I've never been to Kansas City, so get some barbecue out there if I go.
Not Lucille's, as we mentioned.
Not Lucille's, yes, not Lucille's.
Are you gonna be like in Kansas City? Where's the Lucille's?
Unless Lucille's wants to sponsor, then hey, I'll be Lucille's every day.
Right? What's so funny is we used to know everybody at Lucille's, like, because they would come into the Cove at night, and we just talk with all of them, and then I don't know what happened. There was a weird transition of everybody in there. Of course, I don't know what it's like now anymore, since I kind of gave up nights and we became day drinkers. So I'm sure the vibe is a little more different than what it used to be.
Yeah, I actually have not stepped foot into the Cove since my last day working there.
Wow.
So it's just it's not easy to get there and drink and then all the way back to Riverside. It's kind of a far way to go, and I travel for work, so a lot of the time I'm out of town. So like I'll be busy beginning part of the summer. So I have a show next month. I'm hoping to have 2 shows in April. I have a show in May, and then June, July. I think that's it for a while. I'm down for a bit, so we'll see.
Yeah, definitely.
Figure it all out.
Last call for topics. Anything you wanted to discuss that we may have not or left on the floor?
Nothing off the top of my head. I'll probably remember as soon as we end the show, like we normally do. Like, I forgot about that. But yeah, I mean, stay warm, stay safe, don't drive crazy. I don't need to see everybody's video of snow and hail.
Yeah, definitely.
Was that faux pas? Was it a faux pas?
No, not at all. Not at all. Yeah, it's so funny that we all kind of in our social media circle, it's kind of all the same area. I would say, except for me, because I follow a lot of bands from all parts of the world and the country. So so I get to see a little bit of something different. But for the most part, I mean, my social media feed is pretty much filled with people from like West Covina and stuff like that. So seeing all that, I'm like, oh yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. But I guess they do it for the people that follow them that are not from that area or kind of whatever.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, that's it. It's it for me.
Let me see. Maybe I wrote something down. One second. Let me look at my bag of notes. And
so, do you have the whole weekend off?
Yeah.
Nice. Good for you, man.
Yeah, it's nice because I had like a 4-day weekend. Now I have a 3-day weekend. I enjoy it. However, like the money, the money aspect of it, but
always the money aspect, my friend.
Yeah, but I'm very one of those people that is, like, well, if I meant to have the time off, I meant to have the time off, and I'll enjoy it and accept it. It's just now that that I have a mortgage, like I'm more like, well, damn it, I have time off. Like, should I work? But I'm so tired, dude, and I hate being tired. But the job that I have is really physical. It's a little physical, a little mental, and when I'm tired, and I have like other gigs that I could do, but I'm like, dude, I'd rather sleep, and
I get you.
Yeah, so that's why we're doing the show today, because I got it off. I'm like, I can kind of have the entire weekend off. Not saying that I don't enjoy doing this or anything, but like, I'm day drinking at like 12. I'm like, nothing else is going to happen today.
Yeah.
I'm pretty much done for the day.
Yeah, no, I gotta, after this one, I'm like, I'm cool. I'm going to chill. I'm going to eat a little something because I haven't had lunch, and then just wait for wife to get home, and then at one point make dinner. Like at this point, I'm gonna go through the streaming services and go, what to watch tonight?
Yeah, that's always.
They're like, okay, I got to find the movies.
Yeah, that's always the fun part of when I get home, because I have like a 2-hour window before I go to bed. I'm like, okay, and I'm like, okay, it's either a movie or a TV show. I'm like, anything else in that, I can't get into. Unless it's the weekend. And the weekend, that's my like, oh, I'm going to watch this series, or I'm going to get caught up on this, and that's what I do. Yeah, and then next week I have a birthday party I got to go to later on in the day. So we'll see what we'll see what happens with that. So we got to do a early show, or we could do it on Sunday or whatever. So the show's going to be bouncing around. So just.
Yeah, life kind of puts us at a standstill. It's not like how it used to be, where it was like fucking Tuesday afternoon trying to get somebody. Are you free Tuesday morning?
Yeah. Especially now that we're both like sequestered and like out of the limelight and like out of the bar. Yeah. Before the bar, we could just be like, "Hey, what are you doing?" Like, yeah, that's and like now we don't have that luxury of seeing people. I don't know if it's a luxury or not, but of seeing people like, hey, you want to be on the show? So
it has its moments.
Yeah, but if you want to be on the show, email us drinkswordsby@gmail.com, and new season, new guests, and we would love for you to be a guest. And with that, since you're emailing us and on the computer thing, hey, log on to drinkswordsby.com. There you'll see the plethora of the streaming platforms that we are on. And, click on whichever one of those that you'd like and hit that subscribe button. And we are on the YouTube. And go ahead and click on that banner on Drinks to Words By. And go ahead and subscribe to us and watch us. Share us. Tell a friend. And, guys, if you think we did a good job, hey, we are on the Venmo at Drinks to Words By. Go ahead and throw us a few fazools, and we'll use that money to buy ourselves some drinks when we are at the bar, and we are doing a show there. Me and David right now are working on the date for when we're going to be at the bar. So once we find that out, check out us on the social media at Drinks to Words By. We'll probably announce it on the show, but we'll also announce it there. So you can join us at the bar for a live show. Anything else? And did I miss anything?
Not that I can think of right now.
All right. Final cheers, ladies and gentlemen. David, who are we cheersing to today?
Cheers to whoever created Cocaine Bear, because really want to watch this movie. No, cheers to safety, everybody. Again, I mentioned earlier, please be safe. This weather can be crazy. People don't know how to drive in the rain because they just assume that they can drive in the rain. So just cheers to everybody being safe.
Cool. And my final cheers is going to go out to the people of Nicaragua. I don't know why, but people in Nicaragua, hey, man, you got someone thinking about you.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah, fuck. Do you know a Nicaraguan?
No. I would like to.
You actually do.
Do I?
You actually do. Yeah.
Who?
Huh?
Eldwin. Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Maybe that was my subliminal or whatever it's called.
That's good. You could be on the show.
Yeah.
Actually, I talked to him. I talked to him briefly yesterday. So we're gonna try to get together and watch some soccer. So yeah. But that's funny. I was sick. Just random. I thought you were going to do Colombia because I said Paris.
I know. I was like, yeah, and to Colombia too. All right.
To Colombia too.
Double cheers.
And all your white powder.
Yeah.
We have white powder here. It's called snow. You have different white powder. Again, if you have funny cooking stories, please let us know. We'll read them over on the next episode. I'm
not going to say who probably does that listens to the show, but you know who you are.
Right?
You know who you are. Oh, man, that's going to wrap it up for this edition of Drinks to Words by David. Kick him out.
It's been a pleasure, everybody. Go home, be safe. See you the next time.
And we're out of here later.